So for this video, we're going to cover briefly, and it's a deep topic, but I'll just answer straight up, is a question that I've gotten a lot over the years, and that is, can narcissists love their children? Or do they love their children? And I'm a pretty practical person, and so I'm going to just tell you straight up, no, they don't. Narcissists can't love anybody. And the reason they can't love anybody is because if somebody is a full-blown narcissist, diagnosable, and remember, it's narcissism is on a spectrum, and everybody has one or two traits of narcissism, okay? And
I mean, it's important to have some narcissistic characteristics, because we have to take care of ourselves. We have to be motivated to take care of ourselves. So it's similar to a strength becoming a weakness. It's that militant level of taking care of yourself while stepping over everyone else is when you get into NPD, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right, but to his point, there has to be self-interest, right? Or you don't have the confidence to do anything. But with healthy people, they see those traits come out and they go, that's not healthy. That's not the best of me. I'm going to get this train back on the tracks. So, but with the full-blown diagnosable narcissist, they haven't, all the personality disorders are based on an absence of the core self. So where you go inside, and you have many things that make up the core self, and I can talk about that at a different time, but what I believe makes up the core self. And a healthy person goes inside and access those parts of themselves, and they share that and engage that and connect to that throughout the day. But with a narcissist, like any of the personality disorders, and there are 10 of them, what makes up their identity is these 9 behaviors, these 9 traits that come out in these, what I consider toxic, destructive behaviors. So it's not, their identity is behavioral. So they're not connecting to emotions other than typically anger. Narcissists have very few emotions that they feel because they feel mostly entitlement, and anger and disappointment that entitlement is not being fully fulfilled.
Isn't it generally anger that no one else sees how great they are besides themselves?
Or appreciates them enough, or gives them enough recognition. Because again, one of their traits is they have a chronic need for acknowledgement and admiration and praise, and
to fill that hole you were speaking of.
Right. So with their children are not a separate identity from them. Their children are like an appendage. Like, does a narcissist appreciate their arm or their hand? Well, not really, because they're entitled to have that hand do whatever they want. So children are a lot like an appendage to a narcissist. They're not their own identity. They're not separate from the narcissist. They don't seek to understand their children. They don't learn their personalities. They don't empathize with their children. So the child's role is to identify and mirror back what the narcissist wants to see most about themselves.
No, we haven't talked about it yet, but there's the golden child, the scapegoat. What other roles are in the narcissistic family?
Oh, there can be numerous.
Okay.
The problem child, the family therapist.
Does the narcissist recognize in the person, because narcissists are users, and generally that's a predatory behavior, and predators are very good at picking out their prey. Does the narcissist recognize, oh, this person's really a giver, so I'm gonna really push them to give, and this person's talented, so that so it's all about supply with the narcissist, right?
Right.
So they recognize in their children the traits that are there and they use them accordingly.
Right, but they're not, to your point, to what they can get from that child. It's not, oh, I love learning about my child, and especially in their different stages of development, because that teaches me how to engage them and love them and nurture them. No, they don't think like that. It's, this child is an extension of me. They're not, they don't deserve their own identity, that they should reflect back to me what I want reflected. Which is very empty for the child. Like, they often will talk about, my parents said that they really loved me, but I never really felt it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the affect doesn't match the energy.
That's interesting, because I remember reading infants are afraid of clowns a lot. Almost, think of your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Most kids are afraid of clowns at a really young age. They're clinging and
That's
crying.
True.
Well, the reason is they pick up on the fact that the painted on face,
Mm-hmm.
like a sad clown face, and yet the clown is acting happy and animated. They don't like that. It scares them. It's like a dog.
Oh.
If a dog doesn't like someone, you just trust it. The dog can't explain to you why. And I guess it's not very nice to compare a dog to a kid, but they're going on instinct and just gut instinct, and they pick up on the fact that the affect doesn't match what's being projected, and it's so they do
That's
that
an
with
excellent point.
They do that with a narcissistic person as well, that they're picking up on these,
which gets into being gaslighted. Right?
Because then if an older child says, hey, what the hell, you said this but you're acting like that,
right, then
the narcissist uses one of their tools to instead of being introspective and saying, oh, you're right, they say, no, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong, and
I'm not like that, because they can't take constructive criticism, and they don't care about their impact. So when they get things reflected back to them that are not positive, then they're angry and they're defensive and they'll blame you. Narcissists often put on you the negative traits that they actually do. That's why people will say to me, I feel like I'm going crazy. Because the narcissist is blaming them of behaviors they're actually doing, but would never take responsibility. But I loved his point about the clown, because children intuitively know what feels authentic, right? And so when the affect doesn't match the energy, that's very upsetting and not trustworthy to a child. Plus, you have this grown adult that doesn't really care to get to know that child for who they are and what's best for them. Like, I remember when my son was about 8 months old and he'd be in his car seat and I'd be driving him somewhere, or we'd be going somewhere, and if he rubbed his ear, one of his ears, I knew he was starting to get tired. But if he rubbed both of his ears at the same time, he was going to be falling asleep any second. Okay. And just the beautiful ways that children teach you about themselves it's not fun to have a child, a narcissist, because they don't appreciate any of that. And they don't share any of that beauty with you. It's just all about them. It's a charade of, look at what a great parent I am. And they posture in front of people, and they'll pretend something in front of an audience. That's not true at home. Like, at home, they're pretty disinterested. Or they're upset that the child is bringing them into things that they don't want to deal with. But I'm getting off topic. So the short answer that has many, many layers to it is no, a true narcissist does not love their children. And as that child grows up and they start to understand the fragmentation of the home life, it creates a lot of pain for them.
For The narcissist,
the child.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, as you said, very deep subject.
Yeah.
Lots of variations on the topic, and we are going to be working on that.
But it's Saturday night, and we're going on a date now.
Yeah. Hope everyone out there is. Well, no one's watching live. So I hope everyone's having a nice evening. Hope whatever part of the day it is, you either had a great day or you're going to have a great day. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for watching, and again, please ask any questions. Again, our ultimate goal is to engage with you personally. So somebody calls in and ask a question, and we can dive into that. So
yeah. So like, subscribe, help me out here.
Share.
I don't
know. They know better than we do.
Comment, probably so. So thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time.